So we are here. We are here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. It's your girl Chosen. Y'all don't mind my lighting, okay? I did order a light, and I did order a microphone, so that my videos can be clear. So y'all just bear with me. Y'all know that I am a new YouTube content creator. Okay, so y'all just bear with me, okay? And as y'all see with the title, we're gonna talk about black businesses. We're gonna talk about the black community and why we feel like we have to be in competition with one another. Why do we feel the need to always, one up you? And when it comes down to anything, when it comes down to relationships, business, cars, just everything. And right before, let's just jump right into it, okay? I I have learned, just by being growing up in the hood, so to speak, to whereas I looked at certain things and I said to myself, I I didn't want to do those things, okay? And also my upbringing, to where my parents, they had a hand in it as well, where they were just like, listen, you need to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I had a babysitter up until I was like 14 or 15 years old. So to say I had strict parents, yes, I did. And for the most part, it helped, where because with my parents, they taught me manners, they taught me values, and they taught me by example um how to just be a community, and that's what I feel that, when the 70s came and the 80s came and the 90s came, I feel like that that structure or that foundation that was created from our ancestors, I feel like that was lost along the lines, okay? Because I believe that back in the 50s and the 60s, I believe that the men, for one, I believe that the men had more respect for the women, okay? My grandma, she told me, she said, at 18 years old, my grandfather went to her mom, okay, and her dad, and asked her mom and her dad and say, hey, can I take your daughter out? So that was the thing back in the day. Also, what changed over the years is the way my community, the way we dressed and carried ourselves, where my parents will always say, you gotta, when you put on a skirt, you put on a slip, or when you put on a skirt, you put on stockings, and you make sure you have your bra on when you go out or whatever. Now when I got older, I was more so like, I'm gonna do my own little thing. But it wasn't until I got older and when I understood, oh, okay, that's what my parents were saying. That's what Monique was saying. When Monique was saying, ladies, let's not go out looking like we just rolled out of bed. So with that, I feel like when our attire changed, okay, and it was more so as, this is what I have to show. Whereas in the past, we were taught to cover it up. So, with that being said, I believe that that's what created a lot of insecurities for women, different women, because we're all different shapes and sizes, and for men as well. Okay, because back then there wasn't social media. Okay, so we right now social media is creating a lot of insecurities, a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, and things like that, because of what people can just go and access very quickly. Whereas before, we would have to come outside and see what uh Tamika and them had on today, or Trina and them had on today, or what Nay had on. So and we slowly came, well, slowly, yes, because we came from being conservative and classy, I would say, to baggy to bimbo, pretty much. And when our women, when we started showing our skin, showing how big our breasts were, showing how big our bottoms were, and our hips and stuff like that, we noticed that men were more attracted to what we had to show, opposed to what we had to offer, like as far as our brains, learning how to, showing that we can cook, we can do certain things, we can knit, and we can pretty much sustain a household as being a wife. So when we turn this dynamic into, it's now we got to show everything, the wife started the whole husband and wife and kids for the Black and the African American community, in my opinion, was kind of subsided, put to the side, to whereas I men just wanted, now men didn't look for a wife because of how things changed. Men were looking for what they could sleep with. Okay. Where you had other women that still had that upbringing, they would wipe them, yes, but then that would create infidelity, cheating, and things like that, because these other women would be out there just, giving it all away. And I felt like that when we changed our core and what we stood for, and how we wanted to represent ourselves as men and women, I think that changed how, we already were suffering from being second class citizens of America. But we still had dignity. We still had respect for our race. Unfortunately, over the years, the decades, that respect for one another has decreased. And it's more the Willie Lynch doctrine, because it's like the way we lead, the way we conquer, is we divide them. Okay. So we already have African Americans fighting the racism in America. But now when these Negroes, because that's what we were called, when these Negroes colonize together and they build the Black Wall Street, oh no, hell no, we're going to burn that down. What we're going to do is we are going to turn the mother against the daughter. We are going to turn the sister against the brother, the father against the mother. We are going to the neighbor against the neighbor. We are going to tear down the Black community. We are going to tear down the Black foundation, so that these people will always be in constant competition with one another. They will never colonize. They will never come together as a community so that they can rise as a race. So as long as we can succeed with doing all that we can to make them feel, for one, inferior, for one, feel like they don't belong, then if they feel like, oh, that's the white man, we can't touch the white man, which I've heard so many of my Black brothers say. They have already got it in their mind that I'm Black, so my opportunities are limited. So when they come home, they already are, our Black men are already beat down by what society gives them and tells them, you are not a boss, you are not a leader, You're not strong enough to stand next to this other man because of the color of his skin. So that's when they come home to their black women. They have lost the confidence to lead their home and to be the providers and the protectors of their homes. So that's why you see a lot of that's why you see, excuse me, you see a lot of women nowadays. They are the breadwinners, or they are what you could call the leaders of the homes, or wear the pants, so to speak. Is because society has dropped the ball, you know. And when we talk about these celebrities and things like that, and these basketball players, football players, you even the rappers and the singers, they be they are a direct example of when you give a black person some money, what do they do for their community? Or when you give a black person a little bit more than their neighbor, it's like, I got it, you don't. When we talk about Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, all of these men, what could you say they've done for the black community? I've known, other people have done it. Okay, they to charities, they donate to charities and things like that. But do you come around? I don't know if y'all do know it. If y'all, y'all can always comment below. But do you know of I know they gave P. Diddy the key to the city, but do you know if anything that P. Diddy or Jay-Z or any of these basketball players, and I know Floyd Mayweather, he has apartment developments all throughout New York City. Okay. Um, and of course he has to be in within equilibrium. So, but he's not like high. He's in market value. Now, so I shout out to Floyd Mayweather, okay? And this is a man, black boxer, that said, you know what? I may not have that much education, but I have this skill and I have this money. So yeah, I can buy Rollies and I can buy Benzes and Rolls Royces and live in mansions. But at the same time, I want my people to come up too. All right. And so that's why I feel we as black community, I feel like there's a lack in being collaborating. And I feel like it stems from our history. Okay. And I feel like the way we change this is a lot of times I I felt like, you know what, because I see it, I say, you know what, I'm not going to become a product of that. I always said, I'm never going to sit so high where I look low. And I always said to myself, and this is why I believe that the Most High God, He really, really blesses my efforts because He reads the heart. Okay. And I always said that I want to, if I get the information, I want to be able to give it. I'm not just going to gatekeep the information. I'm going to give it and share it. But you know what I noticed? The information that I have for my people, because I was the one that had the information and it wasn't another person of another race or another person older, but because I looked like them, may grew up in the same community they grew up in, they just didn't feel like I was qualified to give this information because they said, well, that's Nene from the block. How can she tell me this? Oh, she thinks she all that. Or what I've noticed is what people have been doing to me over the last few years is people, strangers, they'll reach out to me, right? On social media or whatever. And because I'm a God knows I'm a giver. And I know once you give from the heart, God will just, he'll bless you with so much you won't have room enough to receive it. They will call me and talk to me when they need a pickup, sort of like the cleanup woman, right? And I would give them that confidence. I would give them that motivation and say, hey, listen, I know how it feels. This is what you can do, and some, not all, some people have said, you know what, Chosen, we're going to get with you or whatever. I would say it hasn't been too many of people of my own race. And when I try to reach out to people, it's like, and I've never been the jealous type. I've never been the envious type. I always been the type to where I love to learn. I love to partnership with others. And I always say, if I'm the smartest person in the room, then I need to get in another room. Okay. But what I would love for Black people to do, successful Black people, is to, for one, I understand how you feel. Nobody helped me get there. But that's not true. And that's not true. Someone helped you along the way. Now, had it been your sister or your brother, probably not. But someone helped you along the way. So what I'm saying is this: instead of being in competition with me or calling me to, get my ideas and things like that, and then you will take my ideas and go off and do them without even uh including me in them. It's just like that is what we do. That is what we do as a Black community. And we wonder why we don't grow. So yeah, we have one Black person make it, you know, one Black president, two Black mayors, maybe one or two, maybe one Supreme Court justice. But just imagine if all of us was to and stop with this narrative as I can do it better than her or he can do it better than me. And how about we come together and we can grow our community? We can grow our community because I could get you into a room where you may never ever knew existed. You can get me into a room that I never knew existed. But what I see a lot in my Black community is we want that thing for ourselves. And when we have individuals that have the information, we feel as if no, we don't want it. No, because I don't want them to feel like if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have it. Let's stop this, okay? Because I'm gonna say this, and I know that there is no, I know that there is no they say there's no friends in business. I don't believe that. I believe that you can have friendships in business, okay? But what I'm calling for is for Black business owners, minority business owners. Instead of us trying to one up one another, how about and using one another, because we do like the singers do, the Beyonce's do to the little singers. She'll go and she'll, because this, no. And then y'all try to exploit that for their own gain, not knowing that Satan likes that. Satan likes to conquer and divide. And that's why we have who we have. And everybody's, you know what I mean? Let's make this whole world great again. Because not once did we say, no, we're going to stand 10 toes together. And until we do that, we will never, ever grow. We will never grow. Chinese people, stick together. Muslim people, stick together. White people, stick together. Black people, we don't. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna do this year. I'm not gonna do it next year. I'm not. I am about love. I am about building my community. Yes, we are imperfect human beings. And yes, I do lose my cool sometimes. I do. But if I feel like an individual or someone is not, you know what I mean, truly supportive or in competition with me, I'm not dealing with you. I could care less whether you're a multimillionaire, Jay-Z. No. And unless you come in to work with me, partner with me, and we can grow together, I don't need you to be in my backyard watching what I'm putting on my grill. And then you take my recipe and you go on and no. I'm not gonna do that. And I'm not gonna apologize for setting those boundaries to saying you're not gonna use me. So there's gonna be a few things you're gonna do. You're gonna either work with me, partner with me, or you're not gonna have no access to my information. I'm not doing this for free. I don't need no gaslighters. I don't need people in my backyard, like I said, or doing any of the above or making me feel like, and then I turn around and be like, wait, we were just talking about that. And then next thing you know, you on it. Or you refuse to give me a thumbs up, but then 2 weeks later, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. That's what we do. Everybody, this is a GDP. It's room out here enough for us all to win. But what I see in my community is that a lot of us, we don't want us all to come up. We don't want us all to come up out the hood. We don't want us all to get this money. We want to be like, we got it, and we want to stunt on the hood. But I'm going to tell you something, and I ain't going to feel sorry for you. I get a $5, I could care less because all money ain't good money. And I had to learn that. But I'm going to say something, and grandma always said, and another thing I noticed about my people, you could be right there in their network. They only come to you until they see someone else that they can respect or whatever. And then they feel like, oh, I know chosen. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You may know of chosen, but you don't know chosen. So there's a difference. So like I was saying, what I would hope is that what we can do as Black people, minorities, is instead of trying to one up each other and stunt on the hood, how about we go and we employ the people in the hood? You know what I mean? How about we talk to people and see what is it that they need? How about we spend our money on Black? How about more Black business owners? Right now, I got partners, they're not African American. My own people always want their own, or they want to do something, and I have never been that way. Since I've been in New York, since I've been in business, I have supported my Black business owners. Even when I don't need something, I support them. Right now, I have people come into my space right now. They need this and that. I tell them, here, I'm going here. Go here, go here. That's what we need to do more of. Stop trying to do that, because I'm gonna tell you something. My grandmother said this. She said this. She said, "You better be careful who you step on your way up. You better be careful, because I'm gonna tell you. And yes, this message is for you. You never know who you're gonna need. Not saying I want you to come back down, but what I'm saying is, let's not turn against each other, but encourage one another. And if I'm saying, hey, let's get together, let's do this, let's do that together. My black people, stop coming after the bed is made or the bread is already baked. Stop coming after the fact. Then you want to come around and say, oh, yeah, we know her, we know him after it's said and done. And then when we don't feed you the food that you want to eat, then you say, we think we all that, or we forget where we came from. No, that's not the case. It's that y'all be in direct competition and rivaling with your own black people, when certain people, chosen ones to be exact, we have a divine uh calling. We just know. We just wake up and God tell us, yeah, that person, yeah, that But one thing about this life is that I'm not saying I'm always right, but when I get a premonition or a feeling about something, if I take my first instinct, then I'm right. And sometimes, and what I had to learn is that absence make the heart grow fonder. Sometimes people don't respect what you have to offer until they have no access to it. So with that being said, this year and the years to come, I'm hoping that we grow as a community and that we work together. But anyone that's in direct, you know, I'm not dealing with you. And I'm going to pray for you too. I am. But with that being said, I'm out. And y'all, let's make the black community great again. How about that?